Hello again! So, last week I did a video about Eden Games, about the things I found in my magic box, and I was planning to then go back to what I did at Heliovision, DokiDenki, and Adeline Software. But when digging, I found some more stuff. So it's not as many as last time, but that's still Eden Studio related stuff. So first, I found some other advertisement box for the Need for Speed Porsche. It was nicely flattened, so no problem. I also found Alone in the Dark. That's a very controversial game, which I believe managed to both be one of the best and one of the worst at the same time. So I already had left Eden by the time the game was released, but I was one of the technical designer on the code for all the streaming tech behind on some of the library. But then I moved to Funcom for working on Age of Conan, and then Alone in the Dark was released. I believe that technically it's quite a good game. The problem, and it's a problem that you can also find in Kaya, is that the designers, I'm sorry if you watch the video, are from the school of the player should suffer. Don't give a chance to the player to avoid something. He has first to fall in the trap, so next time he will know. Or don't put checkpoints after 1 minute of hectic fighting sequence and then you die. Next time you will know better. So that's the main problem with Alone in the Dark. In the first few minutes you get some rock falling on your head and you have no way to know about it. You have to discover how to get out of the building avoiding the fire, which by the way is nice looking, with a very nice fire propagation tech. But yeah, really the game is way unforgiving, it's super frustrating. So I actually finished it, but I had to download a cheat. Basically I put myself semi-immortal god mode, but not everywhere. And then it was relatively enjoyable. I really like what they did with Central Park, New York in general, but yeah, so that's a shame. Could have been a very good game, as it happens, it's frustrating. I found some flyers. So for its first year of existence, Eden invites you to La Tête dans les Nuages, which is an arcade place in Lyon. And as you can see, there is a character here who is a kind of joker flying on a winged tiger. And that's actually a character from Riders. And Riders, as you can see, has the old Eden Studio logo, not the new Eden Games one. Basically, that was one of the first attempts at making a non-car game which is still a racer. So I found some advertisement thingy and first draft. So basically, Riders is still a racing game, but it's a racing game with flying creatures and funky characters. So there is a whole story, basically some pretext. There were a hearse and then it exploded, and then you have a different civilization growing up with different styles. And every 10 years, 10 children from the 10 locations are racing each other to see who's going to be the grandmaster, something, yada yada. And there is some mystical thing on top. Basically, the idea was to try to get Infogram to give Eden some free reign on something non-racing, because there were a lot of people when the company grew up who were kind of bored of racing games. So different game modes. As you can probably recognize on the graphic style, that's mostly Monsieur Gilles Benoit, the same artist who worked on Kaya. So with various features and things. And then we have the first draft script of Raiders with a general presentation. This is a flying race in the spirit of Mario Kart 64. The objective is to as much to arrive first than to have fun with other players. To this you have some very impressive speed, fulgurant speed, like attraction ride, faster than Wipeout 64 with a riding sensation that you can find in 1080 snowboarding on the Nintendo 64. The game is planned for Dreamcast on PlayStation 2. So you get some synopsis. The interesting thing is the take on the thing. If you play Mario Kart, you choose the character with the card that goes with together. Here you independently choose the ride and the rider. You give different combination, different bonuses. Like if you take that one, you get a super ass-kicking tiger, but if you look that one, you get some kind of funky flying around big cat. So I think that was one of the interesting things. So here you have the roster of 10 characters. They all have different skills, different mode for camera, far away, just behind, on scene as the eyes of the player, of the rider, the various track, the mood, the various locations, cloudy, ruins, actually that's Renus Cloud, which is opposite, lake, underwater waterfalls, Prometheus Gardens, poisonous galleries, furious winds, and archipelagos of angels. Luminous waves, the Spirit Valley, and the Cyclone Eye of the Cyclone. So you have also various other locations, and then the presentation of all the characters. Fall 2000, Odyssey begin. So we have Kyu, nothing to do with Kaya, obviously. Seems to be from ASEAN. When she was just 3 years old, Kyu saw all her family be killed by a horde of masked monks. Raised by an old hermit, she has since 5 years visited all the neighboring countries to search for the killers. She's still searching. So you can find herself very self-absorbed, no hint of humor, super susceptible and suspicious of everybody. But she's ultra courageous and has a Stureman fight dexterity. And she has telekinesis and concentration. So that one is a kind of a small knight. Romeo, which is the funky, funny guy. Clava, which is the dark aura and mysterious of the vampires and power at the Frankenstein. She can do electric arcs. So Milky, she's doing some snow things. Zindia, the description of the powers are very graphical. Basically it's open to interpretation. So that one is a master of it can become a ghost, like a human fluid thingy. So that one can invoke apparently some shields. Milwaukee flames. Jeddah. Saga de Sable. Yeah, she can throw some kind of sand-made spears. And then we have the various mounts. Totongo, Clang, Kumata, Bunky, and they all have different skills. Speed, fast, endurance, agility, special hit, weight, what's their weakness, strength, and top speed. Rooster, Squish, Chunku, Flood, Bullet, Fungo, and then The landscape in the description of the game is indicated as a 21st character, like it's supposed to be alive, and interact with the various characters. Sometimes you don't want to open. So there are different weapons like Sarbacane. Small tube you blow up, blow thingy from the whatever. Magic balls, many things. Kind of bonuses, like in Mario. And that's an example of a track. You start there, go through this thing, blah blah blah, meteorites, go there, falling down, try to find your way during multiple places, and then back to the start. Then you have the controls using the Dreamcast pad. Example of marketing, including how to market that as a greater universe, so you can make other type of games, derived product, something like that. And I was talking about Gilles Benoit, so obviously Riders never became anything. So some of it became Kaya, but it did not get to Kaya directly. As I say, Kaya was called before Bewitch, which obviously it's a wordplay on Bewitched, where you have a sorceress. So in Bewitch, we already had the Wolfens, but they were more like in some kind of medieval setup. So I believe that these graphics, which are by Gilles, are from Bewitch. So let's see. So we have various creatures, boa serpent, boa snakes, some spider. That one is not very well scanned. Another spider, a vampire. A rat, a giant rat. So probably the closest you can find from a wolfen, except that one is like medieval soldiers with halberds and morning star, Chris sword, shield. And I believe that these ones there were 3 hunters. So think Disney stories where the queen is not happy and sends some hunters to kill somebody. Well, that's him. So we have Mr. Dust, Mr. Dumb, Mr. Dirt, then we have a lion, a unicorn lion, some kind of weird nada spider, and Trollamour, which I'm not sure, that seems to be some kind of joke character. So that. Then found some other things. So that's the new Atari logo. No, actually, that's the new old Atari logo. That's before they realized they wanted to change the meaning. So for people who don't know, the original Atari logo, I mean the Fuji thing here, is not a 3D perspective road. It is supposed to be the moon Fuji, a volcano, and that's the lava flow going in. So don't use the stupid one in perspective. Every time you make me sad. So found some documentation about the Lyon, which is the city where Eden was, area. Lyon, European capital of numerical entertainment. So, and it's true that there were quite many studios in Lyon. In '94, there were pretty much only Infogram and Adeline Software. And then by the time we reached 96, 97, there were at least 3 more studios, mostly because people split and quit, made their own third-party studio for making contract work for graphics and things like that. And then by the time we reached the 2000s, just before the big crash, we had Heliovision, widescreen games, Étrange Libellule, and I don't know how many more. So yeah, maybe it's actually, yeah, and even Electronic Arts was around. More than 30% of all French developers in 35 companies, so a total of 1,500 people. That's quite impressive. So, yeah, the various. Oh, yes, here it is, the ugly Fuji. Okay, so ads. So not Eden related at all, but still Lyon. So widescreen games, one of the many studios. With showing their game at the time. So just for the sake of completeness. So there were also quite a lot of hello, how are you, between various studios. So Eden was sending his Christmas wishes, so with some Kia disguised as a Santa lady, but with a wolfen on her back. And then I found some of the earlier business cards. So the very first ones, which was like Eden Studio, and then at some point there was a new Eden Studio logo, and then at some point it became Eden Game. And I found that in my collector Dreamcast business card container, and I found some other Dreamcast related stuff. So yeah, this is mostly destroyed. That was supposed to be a keychain. Some dev support from Sega, the DEFCON 2000 entry badge, some Dreamcast season greetings from Sega, and some that's still related to the Dreamcast DEFCON 2000, which was organized with Microsoft, and the theme was James Bond. So you can probably see some photos of people with fake James Bond suits. And we could play for money, but I kept them. I did not really like playing. And some other game dev stuff. So the ECTS, which does not exist anymore, that was a electric consumer trade show in London. I've been there when we worked at Adeline, so in '95, and then again visited later at Eden. Took some time to visit the Sega World. I don't even know if that still exists. It's a big arcade game place. And then we also did some Xbox 360 development. So some badges, some greeting cards from when people at Microsoft actually still cared about who they were working with. So Wizard Box, absolutely no relationship at all with Eden, but it's a greeting card from Cyril Marlin, who is working there obviously, and he's one of the former members of my tech team. Oddworld Odyssey, which was released by Infogram in France. And while I was at Eden, there were also some side work. So at some point, Infogram was having problem with Heart of Darkness. The game was not going fast enough. So we had one of the guy working temporarily for us and temporarily for for them. So, and we all got our own Heart of Darkness box. The Arc Satellite. So that one is very special. So you probably know Arc Fatalis, or maybe not, thanks to this logo here, which is Arkham Studio. On Arkham Studio, you probably have heard of Dishonored and Prey, the latest game. They are being successful now. And Arc Fatalis, at some point, so Eden was helping Underground, their team, by helping with a bit of hardware asset management with my first source control system. I'm not actually sure if they use it in production, but we installed it and helped debugging it, found some problems. And I also spent a few days, some weekend, to help them profile their game. There were terrible performance issues, so I spent a weekend there. So that's why there is thanks Mike in the credits. That's not bad for a weekend help. I also found some more documentation. So October 1998, current state of the Verily 2 PlayStation version, on what should be changed. And the collaboration between Eden and Instagram after Verily 2. Is it worth doing a PC version, considering we are doing the Dreamcast version? We need to release an excellent game for each platform, but the PlayStation is the most important, blah 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 blah. Infogram thinks it would be better to release the Dreamcast version before the PC version, because Sega marketing will be helping, which will not happen if the PC version is released. For also some meeting notes on graphics and design. So for people who played the Verily 2, that's the weird design on the menu with an overlay. Diagonals, we are not making very good texture, so how to optimize that. Data row location IDs. Stupid file format with a joke name. The format is for new texture format. On the format .ta, because my name is Pointier, and dot is point. Ha ha. Yeah, some alpha padding, things like that. Some, yes, I was totally not bored. It was some meeting about templates, whatever. Some more drawing on ideas. Yeah, more details about texture format, bit encoding, another report about the completion level of the Verily 2 on Dreamcast. Some matching cubes ideas on how to use a regular mesh to do a time map instead of pure geometry to speed up collision detection, with some pros and cons. Yeah, on how to transition from one type of landscape to another. Yeah, on instantiating. So the idea was could be possible to add that as some kind of graphic primitive, and then you could move up, down, put on the side, make a roof and things like that. And then some what we call the individual interview, review interview. So for year 2002-2003, and something about when I quit the company. So that one is, yeah, on the facture, a bill from when I got old Gateway 2000 computer at home. And yeah, I guess that's about all I have for Eden this time. if I found another thing, I will mix that with the rest. But yeah, it's always nice to see all these things again. Hard to realize that it was more than 20 years. Well, time passes. Bye bye.